guess I'm just going to go ahead and say that I have not articulated this twice. I'm tired of hearing me yell. I turn this back on to stare at my face. It is very difficult to process something when you can't see it clearly, and also when you're stuck in public with people marching up and hating on you. I'm sick of hating them back. It finally occurred to me that despite all my problems with Christianity, despite all of my protestations that the God of the Bible is a demonic stronghold that assaulted and raped me my whole life, I met a Jesus of love one time in Jerusalem, and his teachings say that you're supposed to return love for hatred. And I just sit here going, why do you hate me for suffering? That's evil. There is no point in going to the emergency room. They will just fuck with me. I read their reviews. They're all the same malignant narcissist. My dad was a cardiologist. He was a very difficult, very dark, very funny, very tragic person who was occasionally wonderful and mostly horrible. And one time I went to visit him in the ICU where he was working there, and he's yelling at the nurse in a way that makes me want to crawl under a rock and die. And afterwards I said to him, Dad, why'd you do that? And he said, I'm giving that woman life-saving information for someone. If she screws it up, they could die. And he got mad at me for judging him. And what I wanted to say was, well, gee, Dad, maybe if you weren't such a grandiose asshole, you'd get better results while being off being a rich doctor and telling other people to do your grunt work. While we're at it, maybe stop hanging out at Monty's Steakhouse and getting laid and lying to Mom about it and calling me motherfucker. Everyone we knew was a malignant narcissist and a doctor. And in America, what that means is you took a job supposedly helping people, but you don't help them because it's a business. And there's profit motive and there's care. There cannot be for-profit care. You cannot serve God and mammon. And I don't want to sit here yelling at people anymore for hating on me for suffering. There is no one to talk to about it. It is stupid to call my mom. It is stupid to go to the emergency room. They are all the same malignant narcissist. She married two doctors and is a bioethicist who doesn't know what medicine or morality is. Doesn't know what the deal is. Doesn't know that by telling me to go to one more emergency room to see if the doctors can figure out what the bleeding is about, that I cured an illness with your dog's medicine. I'm a goddamn genius. My dad wanted a doctor. I wanted to be a writer. I have relatives that are very successful and famous in Hollywood, make a lot of money doing it. He got a doctor. Somehow he got a Jewish doctor because I sat in my apartment dying and said, Jay from this crazy Christian cult I was in says it's Morgellons. Joni Mitchell has it. Here's your options to kill it. I'm going to do some research based on the language associated with treating various drugs. Let's assume it's not bacterial. Let's assume it's fungal, parasitic, or otherwise. At the end, there was shit born in my flesh, burrowing and back into my flesh. I had horrible heat and exhaustion, unspeakably horrible allergic reactions, sleep for 3 days, wake up in horrible pain, can't do basic tasks, hands freezing up. And there is no point in going to an emergency room and saying this thing ruined my life, you misdiagnosed it as schizophrenia, you don't care about me, and what I read on the web from your reviews is what I get, that the people sit around discussing how shitty it is to be a nurse and why you don't make a bunch of money, and the real estate deal that the doctors did to buy the land under the hospital, while you sit an old woman in a hallway on a gurney and ignore her. This is an amalgamation of several stories I either heard directly or read about on the web, and it's why I'm not going to the emergency room, and it's why I have to wait till Monday to try and contact some lady who does house calls for the homeless, or go to the Eugene Country Fair and try and talk to Patch Adams. Somewhere in there, there is some humor in the fact that I'm a person abandoned to a street corner by a family with millions of dollars, Oscars, and Emmys, and I want to go talk to a guy from a fucking movie because your only attempt at a kind, sane doctor in America is a guy from a movie. He's the guy they made a movie about with Robin Williams. And then he said he didn't really like the movie because it wasn't serious enough. I'm a clown. I'm an amateur physician and in need of healing. Maybe he will listen to me. Maybe someone gives a shit. I'm just not going to go yell at people that don't give a shit anymore. It's not because it wouldn't make great content for the end of my documentary about no healthcare in America because no one cares and they're all driven by the profit motive and God and mammon. It's just because it has a negative effect on me. Do you know the reason not to hate? It's no fun. It's bad for you. There's more enjoyable shit to do. When people say they forgave people for themselves, they were right, really. So that's what I'll do. Okay. And in the meantime, I have to stop feeling sorry for myself about my face. If I don't have enough of a face left to get a gig, hopefully I will not sit around in a rented room waiting to die or wanting to die. I'm literally arguing with God saying, you are evil. You sent the devil to rape me and give me this illness. It's in the Bible. And by the way, if I sit around in a rented room, not able to do the one thing I was put on this planet to do, which is stand-up comedy, I will want to die. I will not be able to kill myself because you're evil. Boy, this sucks and it's scaring the shit out of me now, and I'm tired of bothering strangers. I'm going to start a t-shirt company, and one of the t-shirts, and I got a laugh from a cop that talked to me recently to come see how I'm doing because people want me to shut up and die, is I am a public nuisance. I don't want to be a public nuisance. I am a public nuisance, but how much you want to bet that at some point in the future, if I don't die and get the money for a t-shirt company, there will be some super cool guy with the modern version of Louis Vuitton. Do they still make Louis Vuitton sunglasses? And a t-shirt that says, I am a public nuisance. And he will think he is cool as shit. It's not any fun when you're me. It might be fun when you're him. Later.